So, Andreas, again, great job. In my short presentation, I would like to give a few thoughts on exploration, and which may be slightly different from a person who is older. So I, let me say, changed the average age in this room significantly already. Okay, there are a few colleagues, but oops, how does it work? Yeah. When you reach a certain age, I think you have the right then, when you're confronted with a specific topic, to look back and to look very far back. Maybe when I was a young engineer, or I'm a physicist from my education, I did not do it this way. Usually I look then more forward, building on own ideas, but above a certain age one can really look far back. And when I thought exploration, so when I was a student at school, I was reading children's book about flight to the moon, and so I remembered this. And then recently I'd seen on television animated movie from 1902. Likely it was the very first animated science fiction, Le Voyage dans la Lune, a French animated movie. And then also on television in Germany and France, we have the Arte channel. There was recently also Frau im Mond, so Woman in the Moon, which was from Fritz, who is known for his science fiction movies, in particular, you know, Metropolis likely, so with his great ideas. And this movie had a technical advisor. It was Hermann Oberst, and his assistant at this time, Werner von Braun. Going further then, and that's already the time when I was born, as a small young child at school, I remember Sputnik. So in the newspaper, I think at this time my parents did not even have a television set, 1975, came a little bit later. So it was on the newspaper, on the radio, everybody talked. Then Gagarin, and then the announcement of going to the moon, and 1969, then flight to the moon, the Apollo missions. And Apollo 11 I remember well, because stepping on the moon was a day when I received my school degree. So when I was in Germany, it's Abitur, so which means you are ready to go to the university. It was exactly the day when I finished it, and this was really something which always came back in my professional career. I decided to become a physicist, to go into this, but space always acted a certain fascination on it. So now, and the lunar mission was often disputed. Let me say it was a product clearly also of Cold War, and there are others who can comment this much better than me, but what has been just a few weeks and months ago demonstrated it was real, because there are real pictures now existing of the vehicles and footsteps and traces on the moon. Basically, when human goes there somewhere, they leave garbage. That means garbage of the Apollo mission. To go there was a major effort. And I think all in your studies, you know it. So there was the Saturn V launch vehicle, huge rocket, incredible element. And if we look today on space programs, and that now comes more to also my job. So I'm a physicist, but in my professional career, let me say, somewhere I migrated towards management. And then it's often very difficult to keep track in what's technically going on. So that's an art, and also you're young, you're in a really advent of your professional career. Let me say, it will be also for you some days a decision, more management, more technique, and balance it. I think there you will reach also not so easy moments. So today I fight more that agencies provide budgets for exploration, then I could really personally work on it. Also, in our company, we have a small team with also good ideas on exploration, and we hope that we are Germany based, so that in the, let me say, scenario of the German Space Agency, DLR, and the European Space Agency, there will be good ideas. And in particular, at the end, the agencies and the governments will provide the necessary funding for it. At the moment, there's not concerning the moon, but in particular exploration of the Mars, let me say, big concerns that the ambitious European ExoMars mission can be done, because it will only work together with NASA as a real transatlantic, or let me say, nearly broad international, on an international basis. And during the last days, let me say, everything became a little bit more shaky, that one mission may not be possible. Hopefully one of the two will come at the end. And just to give a certain view on this, if we look what the Apollo, and in particular the Saturn development and also infrastructure has costed, it was $6.5 billion at this time. If we would convert it to, let me say, what is today the escalation in prices, we would reach something like $40–50 billion. So something like half of the debt of the Greek government at this time. So if you put it in relation to other elements in the area, because often, also I said, it should for a developed country not be a problem to do such a mission. But at the end, if you compare it with other domains in life, then you will see it. And in particular, you always have to be aware, you have to transfer this message to a broad population. Because whatever is done on exploration at the moment worldwide is taxpayers' money. That means wherever, let me say, whatever happens, it comes from you, from your parents, from your environment. So in a way, what the message here is, we have to have creative ideas. Because the only way to do it then is to have good ideas which reduce the cost, which make it affordable even in difficult scenarios. And this is something where you are challenged and will be challenged, I think, in your future professional career every day. Just here, a few more. So there have been a sequence of Apollo missions, and but it was an expensive program. And maybe what was the Saturn V to make a moon mission possible, maybe we could compare it. And also, just to use a comparison here with this city of Cape Town. 200 years ago, a ship to India had to go wire around the Cape of Good Hope. That's why Cape Town became an important city, because it was a stop to have water in the tanks and whatever. Then later, there was a Suez Channel built, which made it shorter, more economy. So what we need is somewhere in exploration, something like a Suez Channel equivalent, in order to get further here. A small moon mission of Europe I would like to mention here. It's Smart 1. And it was a very economic, a very low-cost approach. It was, first of all, demonstration of electric propulsion based on a small satellite, less than 400 kilogram in total, very tiny payload, 19 kilogram, and it managed to go there and worked. And I'm in particular also very fond and proud of this, because it was done by the satellite branch of Swedish Space Corporation, and in July this year, OHB bought this branch of Swedish Space Corporation. So basically we could now, in our, let me say, company brochure, we will print this lunar mission, which makes us very proud what my colleagues in Sweden have done in recent years. OHB also has done the Lunar Exploration Roadmap. It was a study where we had been contracted by the DLR, and it consisted of 4 steps. So first, orbiter mission, and then orbiter mission, let me say, and the proposal by Andreas goes into this direction, which means surveying and providing infrastructure, then lunar landing, lunar sample return, and we have to see when man on the moon will next time be there. So this was a study our team has done a few years ago. Much more complete worldwide, let me say, survey of the scenario is done by the Global Exploration Roadmap. I will not go in detail, so for intentionally I have here the 2 view graphs out of this, which basically give various countries and various agencies views inside on it, and you can download it. It's a really very good document in order to get good insight into this. Now looking into the future, and Andreas has indicated this, so there could be even a type of commercial aspect of his idea. Clearly, in the way to go there, it has to be international cooperation. With the current situation, worldwide economic situation, it's very difficult. Let me say, we have seen that very prosperously nation China has just managed to get its first small-scale space station up, but nevertheless, to the moon, it's another very hard and challenging way. So we need innovation, and we need then also industry on it. And exploration is a point for industry with sometimes mixed feelings, because on one hand, there's hard competition between the industries involved in space technology. And therefore, the view on satellites and basically focusing the business on satellite is much more straightforward. It's easier to convince your management, in particular then, which is not the case for OHB, because OHB is largely family-owned, a private company, but by companies owned by financial institutions. It's very difficult to say, but in a 20-year view or 30-year view, one should invest in development. Usually these companies calculate in 2, 5, or 7 years at the maximum. So partially we do easier at a company like OHB, but nevertheless it is a difficult way, but with good ideas I think one can get forward, and maybe really exploration will go and has to go in the commercialization aspect. The way to India was also first done by governments, and later the big shipping lines had been coming. And the Suez Channel became a business. Tourism may follow, so there are cruise ships to India going through the Suez Channel. Also, tourists usually like more the wider way via Cape Town. So, thank you for your attention, and if you have any questions, let me know. Be encouraged to work on exploration, because I think mankind expects it from you.